undeniably awesome. So that's my little rants for today. So now we can get into the...
well, we can talk about the new music now.
The music.
That came out currently.
Okay, so what do we got here?
Just hit it real quick here.
We have dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. So let me look at the list here. We have, let's start with dun dun dun.
Personal favorite of Maledictus.
Yeah. So I wanted to do a quick one on these guys. They have a single out called Denied by the Cross. Denied by the Cross. Ross the Boss.
Is this their official image?
Yeah, I think so. That's them. They're a bunch of old men.
I mean, it's just so professional looking.
Ross is on the left. He loves America. So he's got the eagle with the American flag. He's a patriotic guy, you know. He's the kind of guy who drinks Coors Light, you know, when he eats hot dogs. You know, he owns a batting cage in Queens.
Did you listen to this song?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Well, I wish Ross the Boss was a band, being that they're like people consider them like a retro rock act. I wish they would make a retro, you know how all these Swedish bands make retro sounding rock music? I wish they would do that too.
What if is he not making like Manowar music?
No, he's making like the same kind of music that like Testament kind of makes. Or
he's
like
making thrash music?
No, not thrash, but like, you know how like old guys make new music, like the way Overkill makes new music.
So they're making like very well polished.
Yeah, well, I mean for their rate. I mean not at the same rate as like second rate of like Overkill, or, you know, but like, you know how like those bands like, you know, like bands like Anthrax or Testament or Overkill come out with a new album like almost every year, and it kind of just sounds like old men kind of trying sounding like cutting edge in a way. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. Well, you know that sound?
Yes.
You know, the Testament kind of does that with and Overkill does that a lot. Not that they're bad bands, but like maybe they should kind of try to sound old. I don't know, because it's their thing, you know. You know, or like when Iron Maiden makes an album, you know, it's like meh.
That's just part of being an old man.
Yeah.
You lose that touch to that, you know.
Yeah. It's just, I don't like the sound of it. You know, it doesn't work with, you know, it doesn't, and it's not like super cutting edge, I'm saying. It's just, you know.
You know who didn't do that was Jeff Becerra.
Yeah, that's right. He sounded exactly like, that sounded like an album made in like 1989, you know, like if they just made another album after.
I mean, it was more produced, but it didn't cross the line.
It still sounds like his voice.
We're talking about Possessed, by the way.
Yeah, Possessed.
Okay.
And he still sounds the same. He's got that kind of voice, you know.
Yeah. So Maledictus says no to the new Ross the Boss.
Yeah, I love Ross, and we've been trying to see Ross the Boss live. We've tried to see him like 4 different times and not been able to, like literally. I
think we're about to dismiss him, but we'd have to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, we'd have to, like, you know, and I had to do a show, which we should have just went to Ross. I should have skipped that show and went to Ross the Boss. But yeah, so one day we're gonna see Ross the Boss. It's gonna happen one of these days. Anyway,
just go to his house.
Yeah, you just go to his batting cages in Queens. Say, hey, Ross the Boss. Okay. Anyway, what do you got?
All right.
No, I've got something
else.
You have
another one.
Pyogenesis.
You insisted.
Yeah. So the reason why I noticed I'm looking at the new albums this year, and I noticed Pyogenesis. Oh, I gotta switch thing. This is Pyogenesis isn't like that. Oh, no, not that one. Whoops. There we go. Pyogenesis from Germany. These guys made an album I remember these guys back in the 90s. Like, you know, I was introduced to them by a friend, and I was like, oh, you know, I didn't like them back then, but they were sort of like a goth metal band back then. You know, and these guys they're from Germany, by the way, and they've been around since then, not without any hiatus. And they're you know, just kind of studying their catalog. I just was interested. They made a new album recently for 2020. The album was called A Silent Soul Screams Loud. A Silent Soul Screams Loud.
Sounds really good. Sounds really good.
Yes. But these guys have really devolved, and like they wear like nice little suits. Now they look like My Chemical Romance or something, but they're old fat men from Germany. Is that what? Right?
I don't know. That's what MCR looks like.
No, MCR kind of dresses in those.
Now.
Yeah. But, you know, or maybe like one of those Fall Out Boy or something.
They do look emo.
Yeah, they look emo-y for like a bunch of old men. Am I right or not? So, yeah, their music is WSOU music. That's if you don't know what that is, you know, if you're from around here, you know what that is. Like that cutting edge WSOU music. They sound like, you know, kind of music a 20-year-old would be
liquid metal music?
Yeah, it's metal-ish. Yeah, most of it, but some of it's very like. But, you know, it's like, it's cutting edge metal-ish, and it's not.
So why are we talking about these guys?
I was interested. I was like, wow, these guys came out with a new album, and I remember them from 1992. You didn't miss much, but I just kind of thought it was interesting because I remember a friend of mine being really into them in 1992. So I was like, oh, these guys have a new album, and I was like, and I heard, and I listened, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, and I looked at a picture, I'm like, what? I'm like, this is a metal band? It's like, no, they haven't really been a metal band in a long time, really. They kind of went for that, you know, whatever. I don't know what it's called, but Europe. We should have put these on Europass. Maybe, I don't know. They don't get a pass. Get the fuck out.
Another cautionary tale. If we go back to this one.
Okay.
I mainly want to talk about this because this is just such a waste.
That looks horrifying. What's going on there?
Well, that's him.
Is he being assaulted?
In the first song of this band is SDI, and it's such a waste of this great album title of 80s metal band. 80s metal band. Sounds like something Fenris would make. And that's him crushing his enemies there, except it's not really glorious in any kind of Man-O-War way. It's like a Viking. This album is horrible, and it's I don't know if they're doing outright satire or they're just so bad that it's funny.
You know when you can't tell?
They're also German, so it's like this is all English second language stuff.
Yeah, which is a Europass. I should have mentioned that in Europass.
So like they have a song called Porno where he's just talking about masturbating in bed and like hiding. He has a song about driving home from work, and he has a song about soccer.
That's real stuff. Those are real things.
They like kick the ball until it moves.
Those are real.
Oh my god. And it's just such a shame. But for a little background, this is a classic, use the term loosely, thrash band from Germany. They had like 3 albums in the 80s, and then they've disappeared until they have blessedly returned to us here in 2020 with this album.
They were one of those like third-rate bands. I remember the name. Like they were one of those like there was like Creator and Sodom, SDI? And then like there were like 3 tiers down. 5 levels down. But I remember the name.
Anyway, I just want to talk about this because it was really dumb, and I love the album title though. 80s metal band is such a shame.
Yeah,
I was so excited. I was like, I don't know what SDI is, but I like this album title.
That's another virtue of being a Euro metal band. When you have irony, but you can't tell if it's irony. You can't tell. Like you're not sure if it's irony.
I'm sure they mean to be humorous.
We're not sure though.
It's hard to tell where the line is.
They might be like, yeah, driving home. It's terrible. It's the most terrible thing. It's the most metal thing ever. Driving home. It's hard. Have you ever done it? It's terrible.
Yeah, every day.
It's the most metal thing ever because it's terrible. They're like, yeah. What? All right. Why isn't that bad?
Let's talk about the only good music to come out this week. Okay. Well, actually, I haven't listened to everything yet, but this is some really standout shit here. Hallas.
Video of the day, by the way.
Hallas have released their new album, Conundrum.
You're gonna like this.
If you like
adventure.
If you like adventure, this is they're not a metal band. They're more like a prog rock. You couldn't fucking tell from this picture.
You know what they're a lot like? I mean, quickly, they're a lot like, Gentle John, but they're also a lot like Focus.
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
that's
right? A little bit. Anyway.
I don't know about that. Anyway, it's a very beautiful album. Maldix just thinks it rocks a little bit harder than the last one.
This one's better than the last one.
I don't know. I thought they were both great. I'm very into this, and I didn't even know they looked like this. And now I'm even more excited. What did you think?
Doesn't that guy on the left look exactly who would sound like? Ooh.
I don't know. I don't. Try to picture what they look like. I just been sitting here in looking at the wall, listening to Hallas. Had no idea they wore fucking capes.
These Swedish betas.
Excuse me. This is alpha male in Sweden. Okay.
Sweden is alpha male.
This is like God tier. This is S tier, man.
The Stone Meadow of Doom guy is having a conniption.
This is outside of all rankings of manhood. They have transcended gender. They don't even partake.
They transcended and came all the way back around again and hit themselves in the ass.
So anyway, it's some very high quality shit. Very good if you like prog at all. You should be all over this.
Yeah, if you're wondering what happened to prog, it's back, and check it out. Really, for real.